Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome back to Joeboy Racing. It's the return of the jumps. We've got fantastic racing at Cheltenham. We've also got some flat racing at Newbury and at Doncaster. So I'll be bringing you all of my tips, all of my bets that I've had on the Saturday, as well as have a little look at how we got on last weekend at Ascot for Champions Day. So let's get stuck into it. Wow, what a day it turned out to be for the bookies at Ascot on Champions Day. Put up three tips, three bets I had. Didn't go well. It's disappointing, but obviously, you had a 200 to 1 winner, a 100 to 1 winner. It was a tough old day for punters at Ascot. So, in the first one, the fillies and mares, we had Wada. I had a little anti-post bet at a bigger price on this horse. I should have probably just stuck with that in hindsight. However, I spoke to Aaron Burrows when I was at Newmarket for the Dewhurst meeting. He said he didn't have any concerns about the ground. Obviously, he said that she prefers to get a toe in. However, he wouldn't keep her off the ground. But yeah, that was a tough old watch. I mean, I can only imagine that the horse hated the ground that much. Callum Rodriguez just didn't feel that he had any horse underneath him because he weren't even trying. He weren't even trying at the end. So something must have not felt right with a horse because I do think that's a much better filly than what she showed on that day. So disappointing start. I did actually say to Bungle in the comments that I was about this close to putting 1 point each way on Mission Central, who done the business back up to 6 furlongs. If I'd have put that on, it would have been a little bit different. However, as I always say, if my brother was a girl, he would have been my sister. So yeah, it doesn't really matter in hindsight. My next tip was Never So Brave. I was dead keen on this one. I had 2 points each way, so it's my biggest bet of the day, my main fancy. I did say in the video, he's drawn wide with all the closers. So I think in hindsight, that's why they paid the price. You look, they all come up that far side rail. All of the main protagonists in the race. He did get a decent towing from Field of Gold, but just got trapped in there a little bit. I don't think you know he would have won anyway, even if he was trapped, because Field of Gold didn't even get that close. And at the end of the day, you had 100 to 1 winner going. So I don't think too many people would have tipped up that one or picked that one as their fancy. Um, so yeah, was a tough day for me on Never So Brave because I do really rate the horse. I think he's a top horse. So be interesting to see what happens with him in the future. We then went on to the Balmoral, the handicap. I said in the tips video there was a couple that I liked, but I'm going to wait to see how the draw plays out. And from what I was picking up, it seemed like it was all happening on the far side rail, um, or favouring the far side rail certainly. Um, so I stuck with Cerulean Bay, and then of course they all come over to the stand side rail. So and Cerulean Bay was drawn low. Um, so he ended up being sort of out wide, no cover, couldn't get around. I don't think he would have won, but I don't think he really could have won the way the race panned out. So yeah, disappointing day. It was a good day for the bookies. Probably should have known better because Champions Day is always a tricky one. There's always surprises and stuff. But it's the last proper flat racing of the season, so I'm gonna have a bet. I'm gonna be watching it. So and it was a good watch. I thought Calandagan was fantastic, really impressive to beat Ombudsman the way he did, and Kalpana in that Wada race. I thought it was going to be too quick a turnaround. Um, from a tough race at the Arc. But yeah, she was impressive. Got the run of the race and done the business. So I'm going to start off this weekend's tips bets that I've had at Cheltenham. Now I'm not going to get stuck in this weekend. I think this is definitely the sort of weekend you want to be watching and taking notes rather than getting stuck in on punting. Because I think there's going to be some good horses in here for the November meeting coming up next month. I was gonna put this video up yesterday because there was one that I've had a bet on today. A horse called Percy Shelley in a novice hurdle. I put the bet on at lunchtime. By the time I come back, it'd gone from 10 to 1. down to, I think it was 5-1 or 9-2. So all of the value had gone in the price. I'm not going to put it up because, yeah, I don't think it represents value anymore. So apologies about that if it does go in and win. I probably should have put a short video up or something at lunchtime. But the one that I do like on the Saturday comes in the 110. It's a horse called Inox Allen or Enox Allen. It's a really competitive novice chase. I just thought Inox Allen jumped so well last time out at Perth. Um, look really, look classy. I think the revised mark is not going to be a problem. I think he should run well. Obviously, you've got some good horses in here. You've got Zurich for Henry de Bromhead that look good. You've also got Scorsese, who looks at, if he can jump a fence the way he jumps the hurdles, then he's in with a big chance here off his mark. But obviously, there's question, until you see it, you don't know how he's going to get on. So, I think there's one at a decent price is definitely going to do the business here. Like I said at the start, I'm not getting stuck in, but I'm going to have half a point each way on Inox Allen. You can currently get 11-1 with 4 places at a quarter of the odds on William Hills. So I've had a bet on him. If he jumps as well as he did last time out in Perth and he's fit, ready to go, then I think he's got a cracking chance. We're moving over to the flat for my next bet, guys. We're going to Newbury in the 345, the St Simon Stakes, which is a Group 3 over a mile and a half. You got some top horses in here. You got the legends that are Al-Azi and Hamish, as well as your Godolphin Good Thing at the head of the market, Ancient Wisdom. But the one I've sided for here is a young horse, progressive horse called Stars in Their Eyes. If you look at the last run, obviously the bare form doesn't look good. However, that was his first race back after a long time off. If you go back to last year, he had some really classy form behind the likes of Field of Gold. I think he's crying out for a step up in trip. He might even want more than a mile and a half. I'm hoping Ancient Wisdom sets a good pace on from here. He does like to be prominent. I'm hoping he's thinking, obviously that's how Al Kareem beat Hamish last time out, that he goes for those tactics, because I think that'll really play into Stars in Their Eyes' hands. Rafe Beckett said that this is the target for this horse. He'll like the soft ground. I think the softer the better for this one, to be honest. So a bit of rain is going to help even more. And I think it's really interesting that Ross Orion is obviously on board Stars in Their Eyes rather than Revoir as well. So I think there's a lot to like about this horse. I think he's going to progress for the step up in trip and for the softer ground, etc. You can currently get 7-1 about it with 3 places, with corals. I'm only going to have half a point each way because, like I say, he's going to need a strong gallop. There's enough question marks, for me to not go mad. I'm not getting stuck in this weekend anyway. But I feel like at the price he can go well if he comes on the way I think he's going to come on. Moving on to my last tip of the Saturday, my last bet for the Saturday comes in the 425 at Doncaster. Now, you might remember I put up a horse called Alpha Crucis last time out at Goodwood. He came second that day to Cerulean Bay. I think he didn't get the first run, still stayed on really well. Just dipped out. The time before that, he ran against that Sadad, who then ran well the same day at Goodwood in a listed race behind Nakib. This horse loves the mud. He's been putting in consistent performances, second on his last 2 starts. And I think that good run in behind Sadad is a really nice piece of form. He also finished 4th in this last year. He wasn't miles off as well, off a mark of 93. He is off a mark of 95 now. However, there's a £5 claimer on board. And I just think he's got a really good chance. So you currently get 9-2 about him. I'm just going to have a 1-point win on Alpha Crucis. There's another one in here as well who loves the mud, Mustazeed. Ran really well a couple of starts ago, winning nicely. Really tough performance there. He's 18-1 currently. I think he came second in this a couple of years ago. I could just see him running well again. Obviously, the main selection is Alpha Crucis, but I'm just going to have a small saver on Mustazeed as well at a big price. So that wraps up all of my bets for the Saturday, guys. I was tempted to have a few more bets at Cheltenham because, yeah, jumps racing at Cheltenham, just absolutely love it. However, I think it's a better one, like I said earlier in the video, for watching, for taking notes for the November meeting. Plus, we got the Breeders' Cup next weekend as well, so I want to keep my powder dry for that one. I'll be going to Haydock next month for the Betfair Chase. Super excited about that. I've never been to Haydock before, so it's going to be a good one. Obviously, I'll be bringing you the race day vlog from there. Means return of the lucky dip bet as well, because it's a decent meeting. And I'll also be going to the Tingle Creek in December and the Peterborough Chase at Huntingdon as well, the day after the Tingle Creek. So we should have some nice race day vlogs coming up, some more lucky dip bets, which I think is going to be fantastic. I love the lucky dip bets. I will also be going to Chelmsford City as well for a Thursday night racing at some point in between those as well, or before those. I am going to tweak the way I've been doing my race day vlogs slightly, um, just to improve them a little bit. I still think they need improving. Obviously, the channel's still very new, guys, so I'm still learning. I'm still trying to make it better and improve. So if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on those race day vlogs. Obviously, I put up my bets every weekend as well, my tips, and we've done all right so far this season. I'm going to have a proper tally up. I'm going to go back through all of the videos. I should have kept the running record throughout the season whilst I was going. I will do that going forward. However, I'm going to go back through all the videos, fill out a spreadsheet so we can see how well we've done for the flat season, profit and loss to a level stake or points, because obviously I started doing the points a little bit later on. I always review my tips, my bets, um, for complete transparency with you guys. So I think it's important as well to do a running profit and loss total as well for that very reason. And as always, guys, get stuck into those comments. Let me know your absolute good thing for the weekend, your banker for the weekend. Let me know how excited you are for the jumps at Cheltenham, and if you'll be following me in on any of my selections. If you like the video, give it a like, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I've got loads of race day vlogs coming up, obviously. I always put up my bets for the weekend as well as doing weekend reviews to see how they got on. Best of luck with all of your bets that you got on this weekend, and as always, happy punting.